Okay, I started the stream. I will announce it in my Discord as well that we are starting, and then double check on Twitch as well if everything is working correctly. Let me do that. Everything is working correctly. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me do that. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Everything is working 1, 2. Please say something. 3, 1, 2, 3.
Let me say something. I'm saying something right now.
Everything is working.
1, 2, 3.
Please say something. 3, 1, 2, 3.
Let me speak louder. I'm saying this volume is good.
Yeah, perfect. I'm just double checking when the stream is
Yeah,
live
yeah.
because like Twitch is sometimes tuning the original audio.
Twitch is twitchy.
Yeah, exactly. OBS has its one problems and Twitch the other. Yeah, so it's like always double checking everything. Okay, I think we are good. Let's me. Okay, close this one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know if there is no lag on stream and everything is fine on my end. Please let me know. Here I have so many cables. Hölgyek, urak, tudassátok velünk, hogyha minden jó. Let us know that we can start. Can we start? Let us know, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know. I hope the lights are good. I turned the lights on too because probably in 1 hour it will be like more dark. Fine. Okay, they are saying fine. Nice. Okay, dear André, let me know if we can start. Let me know.
Yeah, sure. Start away.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Welcome everyone in the very new episode of my Dev Live show. Today I'm joined with André, who's a game developer. He created the game called The Night is Grey. And we just talked, by the way, that he's also working on another game, which hopefully we'll be able to hear about in this episode as well. I'm very thankful and very honored that you joined us for today's episode. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, so I'm André Broa. I'm the creative director at Wellstark.
Okay.
And yeah, thank you for inviting us or me for the interview. We are very honored as always. As a small time developer, we are very small, very small, and to have offers like this to an interview is always very humble for us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So my very first question would be, what was your very first contact with video games as a player, if you remember those times of your past?
Yeah, so I think I've been gaming for all my life. So I started with very old games like text-based, like Zork games. But I remember playing very first Prince of Persia in black and white on my very old Pentium computer game. But I think the turning point was when I started to I think I asked my mother to buy me a game because I was in a computer game shop and I had a copy of Riven in my hand, and I read that they had 7 or 5 discs, and I thought to myself that 5 discs, this means that it has a lot of game inside. So I asked her to buy the game in advance for my birthday, I think, and when I came home and played it, I think it opened me a lot about video games and about the mood and the lore you can pour into it, and it can be more than gameplay and more about story and mood and music. So
it's
I think
everything
was
is combined together, right?
Yeah. So that was the turning point for me. So I always wanted to make a video game all my life, but I drew a lot of pictures about it and lots of ideas for I think more than 15 years, but I don't knew how to program anything. So one day have a small creative agency, design agency. So I was, but at a time I was working on at a job, and a colleague of mine, Tiago, he was a copywriter, and I pitched to him about creating a video game. So we fumbled up with a story a guideline story. And later we found about one of my friends, Miguel, and he had cinema background, but he didn't knew how to program anything. So he learned from scratch just for this game.
Wow.
So yeah, so we had a lot of ideas, and from start to finish, this project took 7 years just to start to learning from scratch to releasing last year.
I see.
So it's quite a journey. It's quite a miracle that it exists. We stuck with it. We all have full time jobs. We don't have well-stocked office. So this is the office, my home.
Basically the workplace, yeah.
Yeah, so we work for remote for we are a team of 5.
I see.
It's me, Tiago, Bruno is the composer, and Teresa, which is the animator and illustrator. So we work remote. We do some meetings after work in our spare time, and we create games. So
nice.
at least we created one.
But it tells that you and your colleagues had passion for the project, right? Because you mentioned that you learned programming only for this project, so it really tells that.
Yeah,
it shows
taking
that.
this time, so this long time, give us freedom to perfect all the mood and the story and the lore, and so we took time with it. So we didn't have the constraints of a publisher. So
I see.
we took our time. Yeah,
I see. You mentioned like
for us, it could be the only game that we will release in our lifetime. So
I see.
we pour into it
mattered.
all quicker.
It mattered even more.
If you only made one game, it would be that one. So.
I see.
Yeah.
You also mentioned like it were a lot of years that you haven't started or haven't made the first step in order to make your game. What was the causing effect behind this situation? Like for so many years you had this dream, you made scratches, but you haven't made the first step in order to work on your game.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to program anything. So I started trying to program because I'm a designer. And even at my job, I had to learn a lot of tools like painting and 3D. But to my brain, to invest my time or my spare time to program from scratch, it was not in my daily basis. So I had to find someone who was willing to join the project and to focus on that part of the project. So I could focus on my part of the project of creating the art and reacting. So it was very hard to find someone, and gladly Miguel, which is my partner at my little company, he joined in. So I think it's thanks to him that the game exists today. So he really tried to learn from scratch and to program a very basic kind of mechanics into the game. So yeah, we knew that we had to start very small. So the point and click genre was the get go. So we want because it focused more on the narrative and the mood and the story. So we spend more time on that aspect and less time on programming the game. So so it could be easier for us to release a game that would not be very how could I say, very. We have a saying here in Portugal: "Is too much sand for your truck."
I see.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that you pitched your game to your friends. When did it happen? So what was that click moment or light bulb moment? That okay, now I had to do this. I don't want to wait anymore. So when around what time was it in your life?
Yeah, I pitched the narrative. It wasn't quite there, but it was. I can spoil the game, but the structure, which is very unique. It was always the way I wanted to tell the story.
I see.
But we pitched together, me and Tiago, for about 6 months to 1 year. about elements to that could integrate into that structure of a story, and it started from there. So I sketched some drawings and some scenarios, and came the nighttime and the man that finds the little girl. Then the cabin went away. Then the wolves were in the game, but we removed them. Then we brought it back. So it was a process for almost 4 years almost with the story. While we were developing the puzzles and the
I see.
game,
I
the
see.
story we threw a lot off, and we brought it a lot into the
Back.
story.
I
Yeah,
see.
it
I
was
see.
not a fixed story from the start.
I
That's
see.
what I want to. Yeah,
I see.
we kept adding lore, but we kept removing, so it won't be very complicated, because the message was very clear that we wanted, and we knew that the subjects were very rough and very serious, which was great because Tiago, the copywriter, has a background in psychology. He's a copywriter, but
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it was a match. Yeah. So he was very careful how to approach the teams. It was, yeah. So when I was trying to let it go, to go too far with the story, he approached me. That's not the way you
You
say
like
it.
boxed
We have
it,
to be
framed it.
careful.
Yeah.
And we have to be careful about people in the traumas, and
I see.
so
I see.
we managed to deal with it. And I think it's one of the biggest achievements that we got with the game. Yeah.
I see. More personal question, by the way, from me would be: do you feel like your family members, parents, and close friends were supportive about this decision that now you finally made the first
Yeah.
step in order to make video games? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it was quite tough. So because, as you know, making video games takes a lot of time,
True, true, true. And it's
and
not
yeah,
easy, right? Like we all
no,
say
it's
that.
at
Yeah.
all. So if you have a day job like myself, uh, and you arrive home, uh, when with transportation at all, if you arrive home at dinner time, so we have dinner, then the time that you end your dinner and go to sleep, you have to extend that 2 hours to 5 or 6 hours. So you have to remove hours of sleep and spend the best time as you can. But doing that has a caveat, so um, you have to not join your time with your friends and your
True,
family.
true, true,
So
true.
we knew about that, and it was hard to this, especially the last 3 years of development. So that's why we left a message at the end of the game in the credits. When the credits roll, we thank everyone, and even the community, which was great. Particularly, community is the greatest because they are very supportive, and they really like stories, and it was great because we thanked everyone, and the family was very they understood from the start. It was a dream for every one of us. So, and it was a new challenge for us. So just not to have the project fall off and not release it. It was achievement for everyone. Yeah,
True, true,
because
true.
we tend to start something, but leave it on the shelves. So we even with COVID, it was very hard because when COVID came, it was very hard on us to keep it working on
I
it,
see.
even we were sick or at home and we cannot meet each other. So yeah,
I see.
it was complicated.
Do you feel like, by the way, for you, it's important to have a mentally supportive background in your life in order to make video
Yeah,
games?
yeah, yeah. True. Yeah, yeah. It means a lot. Yeah.
I see. I see. About the process of making the game, what was your favorite part or parts about the process itself of making the game and
Um,
completing it?
I think discussing the story with Tiago was the. I think it's my favorite part.
I see.
Of course, I like doing the drawings and the animations, but that was very time consuming. There were parts I was loving it, creating the when I finished the scene and with all the bells and whistles. I look at it, I was proud of it, but thinking thinking that I had to make my more 50 of those, it was very, yeah, overwhelming. So I grew somewhat tired of it. And even today, starting a new project, it was very tough to get back into the mood of creating, because if you think about all the work that you have to do all over again, you have to be really invested in the new story on the new game,
See.
so you can don't get stale. We started with the animation. We kept the idea of drawing in the traditional style of drawing to 12 frames per second. We initially we started with 24, which was insane. So only Disney does that, and Disney has millions to spend. So I think we did one animation in 24 frames per second. So we we decided it's not going to do like this. So we made at 12. But even at 12, um, Graham alone, which is the main character, has more than 6,000 drawings
Wow.
for the animation. Yeah.
It's a
So
lot.
yeah, it was a lot of work and a lot of drawings. Yeah.
I see. I see. What kept you, by the way, not giving up around these like tough times that you mentioned?
I don't know. Perseverance. I thought myself, if after this 15 years, no, and the responsibility to my other
I
colleagues,
see. I
because
see.
they also spend time on this.
True. True.
So
True.
we kept together, and as a director, it was my responsibility uh, to their the fact that they spend time on this project not to be in vain. So I stuck to them like glue. So let's do this and try to finish this project. Uh, Even if people hate it, let's just do it and release it, because we spend a lot of time on this. So yeah, but we didn't cut corners. So if we needed this animation or that scenario, we made it. If we didn't cut content to the game, so
I
we
see.
stick with it. Yeah.
I see.
As I said, it was, if it would be the only game that we released, so uh, we made the best we can.
True.
So
True.
yeah.
Understandable. Yeah. Yeah. Throughout those 7 years that you mentioned, what helped you, by the way, like stick to the same vision? Because at 7 years, people do change, right? And a lot of
Mhm.
happens. So what helped you guys stay true to the whole vision and the whole message that you talked about and you guys wanted to deliver with your game?
Yeah, it was tough because a lot of changed. Tiago had a serious health issue that he found out middle of the
I
project,
see. I see. I'm sorry to hear that, by
and
the way.
my Mike the composer had the became a father in throughout the project. So I had a big change in my life. I had to switch homes and a lot of aspects of my life. So it was tough. So in 7 years, we had to complement all that into the game development and um, try not to throw everything into the trash. So
I
it
see.
was very tough, but we stuck at it. Yeah.
I see. I see. You also like talked about your favorite part and parts, but what about like the most hard parts, hardest part, or struggles, or challenging parts about the process of making the game itself and
Yeah,
finishing it?
so so there were very hard parts. Learning the how to program with Miguel, and the struggles, because I was doing the art of the game for specific parts of the learning process
I see.
for him,
I see.
but in the middle of the process, he thought that he could do better. So we had to throw a lot to the trash and start over, because he had to program in a different way. So we did in Unity, and that part, it was very very hard. The other part that we learned, it was the marketing aspect of it.
I see.
So it was very complicated to get on with it, and we had a lot. So little time to invest in our game, but we had to invest a lot of time
In the
in
marketing.
social media
Yeah.
because we didn't wanted at a publisher at the time, so we wanted to make our own game, and so we invested a lot of talking to and reaching and talking to everyone we could, every journalist, every streamer, every YouTuber, and people were quite receptive about it. They loved it, and they played it. They gave their feedback. It was great, but it's still very time consuming. And if someone is trying to start an indie game today, it's always my first advice is to market your game. If you do a good game, but no one knows about it,
True. True.
it's not going to be out there.
True. True.
Even with our game, it's even today people don't know about our game.
It's true.
So, but
Yeah.
we did our best
But
to
it's not
reach
about,
to.
like you said, it's not about that the game is not good. It's good. It's just
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
hard to
Yeah,
market it,
yeah,
especially because there are so many games out there and it's ever changing, which is picked up by Steam or other platforms, right? So
yeah. Backlogging is a very serious problem in gamers today because you
true.
have a lot of options today and a
True.
lot of good games at big prices, small prices,
True. True. True.
and indie games can't compete with big prices because if you have a game with a AAA game like Uncharted with releases, but after 6 months it's half the price. And you have so little money to spend in your month, you're going to spend on the AAA that is 50% off and not at two or three indie games that are $10
True.
each.
True. True.
So even with that, if you buy all those games, if you need to spend 10 hours on each, you don't have 30 hours to spend on the upcoming 3 months. So you have
True.
to select very carefully which games you're going to play.
True. True.
So it's very hard. It was very hard to me when even reviewers approached me and asked about how long it was the game. So and it was very hard to me. It was I had to say it was not too long, but it was not too short. So if it was too short, they would say that $15 or $10 was too much for a 5 or 4 hour game. But if I said it was 10 hour game, that it could be because of how well you go with the puzzles of the game. In our beta testing, the game reached uh, between 8 to 10 hours of gameplay. So if I said 10 hours of gameplay, which I did at the start, a lot of reviewers said, "Oh, I don't have time for a 10-hour game to play."
It's
So it
interesting.
was so I changed the gears a bit and I give it like a threshold to the time you got spend on it. So I always said 4 to 6 or 4 to 8. It depends how well you go with the puzzles. But it's very hard to sell your game because people want good games at
It's just people do
uh,
not know what a good game is. I always say this at my show that
yeah,
nowadays we got to a point in the industry from the player perspective where like people have too high expectations and none of the developers can meet it because players do not realize what's their like expectations are really. They always say that they
yeah,
want a good game, but if you would down to be to sit down and talk with them or me and ask what a good game is for them, they would not be able to answer it because like they do not understand
yeah,
what is a good game for them. And I feel like the real problem is going from the causing effect of like there's so many players who play games, but a lot of them who went into this industry as a player, they, as I call them, are trend gamers, and they are like more likely not have the passion as I or you do about video games, and that's how they end up like being these consumers. But they are just consumers of the media, right? So they won't do the backlog, they won't read about games, they won't be passionate about games. They will
yeah,
have their harsh opinions out there on the Steam reviews saying "fuck
yeah,
you" and all
yeah,
kinds
yeah,
of harsh things. And I think it's a problem because media, like the official media, like the video game journalists, are helping these people nowadays as well because
yeah,
that's popular, right? Writing an article, a bad article about a developer or a publisher, and they are gaining these huge views. And it's sad because like it's killing people's journey
yeah.
and dreams. So yeah.
Yeah, it starts with even with the reviews because people we had reviews that said the game was too long or
And people
so
rely
it's
on those reviews, like you said, and I
yeah.
always say this too. And it's also bad
And
because
they yeah,
they do not
because the
say
money is so short they
true,
tend
true, 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 true,
to
true,
if
true,
you even if you don't if you have a 9 out of 10 games of 9 out of 10 reviews, they'll try to search the bad reviews and
true,
focus on that.
true,
Okay,
very
so
true,
this
very
is
true,
one bad aspect of this game, so I'll be careful about it. And many times people join the bandwagon of
true.
it's easier to agree with the bad part of the game
Other than
than the good part
like,
of the
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Because with
yeah,
the bad, it's easy to point out, and the good, it's
true,
harder to express how good it was.
true, true,
So, but a good game also reflects specifically to a time of your life. Maybe a game that I would like
true,
today
true. I
will be a
agree with
game
you
that
on
I'll
that.
let's
Yeah,
say 5 years
yeah,
ago to
yeah,
from now. So it always depends
true,
how how is your mood, how is your how many type of games that you play. If I play
true,
110 platformers in a row, maybe I'm grew tired of platformers. When
true.
I play my 11th,
But it's true for
I
everything, right? If I eat too much of a one type food, I
exactly
will get annoyed by it
yeah
and I want new things. So
exactly
it's
yeah
true for everything in life. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
I like your examples and I can totally relate what you said and totally agree with you. Yeah, the problem is really, really a lot of times from the player's perspective. And also, like I said, the official media is not helping it because the
yeah
bandwagon,
no at
like you
all.
mentioned, it's like always likes to and loves to pick up the saddest stories, to hype up
Yeah
their
yeah
views. And it's sad because like
that generate clicks yeah
exactly, and
as
it's
people are yeah
it's killing the industry. And I heard so many developer stories who told me like they had to just stop doing and making video games and working with video games because like they
yeah
only what they got is hate because choosing this theme of the game or that theme of the game. And it's sad because like people do not realize that it's like hard work. Like it's not a click, like I'm always saying. It's human beings putting their effort, own
yeah
money if
yeah
it's an indie studio, everything like passion, hard work, health issues like you mentioned,
yeah yeah
family.
yeah.
It's not just like one click. And yeah, 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 hopefully it will change for the better though, so let's hope.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, but we have very good reviewers. More good reviewers than bad reviewers. But people that wrote that reached us, they were very kind and very
You see,
supportive about the game, and and uh, and we felt that they really played the game, so it was good.
not
Yeah,
just looking at the trailer and saying something stupid,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because there are a
But
lot
we
of
had a lot of interviews at the time that. Uh, we noticed that from the start that they didn't play the game. And when you're talking about a very specific story and in very spoilery,
spoiler way.
if the reviewer or the interviewer didn't touch the game at all or didn't play the demo or whatever, it's very hard to conduct an interview when they didn't even watch the trailer.
True.
It was very hard to communicate with that. Yeah, but we
It's
managed
also again
to.
the problem of like having so many people in the media. Nowadays there is no strict rules who can form opinions or who can
Yeah,
be like an interviewer or video game journalist. It's not like you had to learn like I don't know, past 10 years ago or like 20 years ago. Nowadays everyone can, one click making an account and they are journalists or video game
yeah, yeah,
reviewers. And it's sad because like that's how you end up like having so many people hating on video games, right? Because it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
click. So
And choosing your reviewers is also important because
sure.
choosing like a leftover game for a reviewer that only plays sports games, it
True,
doesn't make any
true.
sense.
Very good example. Yeah,
And we have reviewers that were someone like that, and it didn't went well. But we had a lot of reviewers that they said to me, "Wait, I'm gonna. Can you wait for a little like 1 month because my colleague loves this kind of games, and if you wait 1 more month, he will be available to play your game." And I said, "Sure, that was exactly what I want." So I will wait whatever you want just to make a review and I know that the reviewer will knows about this kind of games.
True, true,
If it's very niche or if it struggles, so it won't be very alien to them.
true,
So
true, true.
specifically with point and click games or narrative games that you have to read a lot. So if you have a reviewer that doesn't like to read or is impatient, that will be very hard for him to understand that this is this kind of games.
True.
But the approach of saying, okay, but if you want to sell the game, it has to be for everyone. Maybe it isn't. So
No, it's never
I
like
made
for
a game for
everyone.
this kind of specific
Exactly,
audience.
exactly, exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah.
don't bash me on that because it was very
True,
specific.
true,
So
true, true. I always say this example to this topic, and you are very right with this. That only some like big companies can make, and they are intent to make those games which are for
yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
like Fortnite, right? But you cannot compete with a company
Yep.
like that game because it's
Oh,
really built on the ground for it to be for everyone, right? But if you have a specific vision, that's also okay. That's also very nice in my opinion. It has to be niche, right? Because like you said, it's also very true. If it would be every game would be for everyone, it would be no sense, right? It would
yeah.
make
And
like
if you're
no sense
making,
at
yeah,
all.
if you are making your very first game, you want to be welcomed. So you
Sure.
try to do or
An honest game
introduce
from
yourself.
yourself, right? And
Yeah,
from
yeah,
your
exactly.
passion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's like introducing a project to your friends. So you
True.
have to,
True.
okay, let's, if this works, I'll do another one.
True.
Another will be more broader to a broader audience, but the
True.
first one has to be welcomed and from the things that I love.
True.
So yeah, that
Very
was the
true.
approach that we do. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Very true. I believe, by the way, that all of us creators who create our own craft, we always tend to put our inner self into the craft we make. Either it's about experiencing love or loss or anything positive and negative in our past. Is this statement of mine true for your life when doing your own projects in the video game industry? And if your answer is yes, what examples could you name or could you bring us to the table? Like you talked
I
about
think,
it a bit at the beginning, but
yeah,
I
a
would
little
like
bit,
to,
yeah.
yeah,
But I can say that even today, when I watch streams about the game and I see people playing the game, even the story is about trauma and very tough subjects, which lately I didn't had anything about it or experience
I see,
someone
I see.
or yeah or any experience like that. Um, the character or the characters are a blend of our personalities.
I
Graham,
see.
for example, are a little bit about me and a little bit with Tiago personality.
I see.
For some time to time, when I see the streams and see the gameplay again, and I see what he's saying or the expressions that he make or the mindset comes a little bit from me, then sometimes come from okay, that would be something that Tiago would say. And even Anna, with the small child from the 90s Grey, is based on his niece that is as
Nice.
I think it's 8 years old, and her personality, which was um, our objective from the start to create a real life um, uh, character, kid character, which we received a lot of compliments because that's exactly what a kid says. Her age, she's not annoying, she's smart, she's not dependent of the gram in a way that he becomes annoying, and she doesn't make fits. She just it's just a kid, and she's curious, she's blunt, and very direct to the point. So yeah, people quite enjoyed about it because we poured a lot of um, real life subjects into the game.
I see. I see. You mentioned, by the way, at the very beginning of our interview that the core aspect, the core theme, and the core message was always there in your life and important for you before you started working on this game with your friends. Why was it important for you? I was wondering about it. So why was it? Since you
Okay.
told me, because like you told
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
now that it's
I
not you
can,
who
I can.
experienced it, but it was important for you. So why? That's the question because I'm wondering about it.
The structure or the story?
The
Which are
story, and the message
okay.
of it, like the core aspect of the story.
Yeah,
Because you said it's not you who experienced the trauma, but
exactly,
still
exactly.
it's
It's
important for
tough.
you.
It's tough because it could be very spoilery about talking
Okay.
about it,
Okay.
but the title and the story are very very connected,
I see.
and the message about the game was always um, uh, don't go for granted for what people tell you.
I see.
So
I see.
it's
Okay.
always about seeing the other side of things, and that's why we always say that it's gray because it's never black and white.
I
The
see.
story is never full black. It's not very always full white. So we have to see stories in a different aspect or in different way of thinking. So it was very important to structure the game in a way that people understand uh, all the aspects of the story
I
in
see.
different ways.
I see.
So that was the was main challenge of it. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Is this mentality, by the way, and the core message comes from like an experience in your life? And if yes, what was the happening
Yeah.
around that experience? If you
Maybe.
don't mind
Yeah.
asking, of course, if you
No.
don't
No.
mind,
No. Sure. Sure. No.
because
No.
I'm
My.
interested in
I
it.
think
Like it's an
no.
important, in my opinion,
It's
to
a
learn
very good
about it.
question because I
Thank
think
you.
you're the first one to ask about it.
Thank
So
you.
it's a very good question. Yeah. Um, I think, yeah, maybe that was something that's quite triggered me about stories when someone tells you one thing and tells you a story and said it was exactly like this, but you were there. I wasn't there. Okay, then you don't know all of it.
True, true, true.
Maybe
People do
there
not
was
question
another side
it.
of the
Yeah,
story. Ah, but this person is clearly guilty, but maybe it's not guilty because you have to understand that the other person has an opinion also. So that was all every. It was very triggering to me and really annoyed me. People that form an opinion just with it was very black and white. So I somewhat tried to create a story around it. So yeah, it's a good question.
thank you.
But it was I think it's that is the very genesis of
Yeah, because a lot of people
starting the
do
video
not
game.
think like you or me. Because I say that
Yeah,
if people would think like just you, and I also think like this, people would
yeah,
be able to solve problems more easier because they would go down to the roots of problems, right? You
exactly.
mentioned
Yeah,
like being a bad person, but a lot of people are never questioning whether and why he was a bad
yeah,
person
and
and doing
why
such
exactly?
things,
Maybe it's not.
right? It's like about
He did a
serial
bad thing, but
killers,
it's
like
not. Yeah, maybe that person made a bad thing, but it's not entirely bad person. Maybe it did
exactly.
80 good things and one
Exactly.
bad thing
Just one
that
bad
doesn't make
thing
that
and
person bad.
yeah. And society teaches us as humans to box people like you're a bad person because you did this. You're a good person
Perfect.
because you did this. And I hate that. Yeah,
That's
exactly. There is, by
that's
the way, a
the basis
show
of the
about
game.
it. There is a show about it too. A very famous, I cannot recall the journalist's name right now. Sorry for being rusty about it, the names. But he has a show where he interviews like very famous like serial killers, bank robbers, and
Mhm.
he goes down on the rabbit hole of asking why they did that.
Yeah.
And he always shows that there are some very good elements in their life too, not just they were bad, when they were.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
always say this, that none of us is born like a bad person from the kid perspective, from
Exactly.
our
Yeah.
childhood, right? We just change from some experiences in our life, and you have to understand it in order to grow as a society. Because if you just put people into boxes, you will never like help the real problem. You just
Mhm.
shave off the problem from your shoulders, and that's all.
Yeah, and we see when people play the game on streams that the perception changes throughout the game, which is very good because they start the game and they acknowledge this character is like this character is like that, but throughout the game, okay, with this element of the story, maybe it wasn't like this, or maybe this is more deep than was I that I was thinking about
It's
it,
like
and
educational for them.
And in the end, they always say to me, they when I'm joining the streams for some Q&A, they always tell me it's a very good story because I was not prepared to think like this. So it's very weird to me to wrap around it,
True,
and it was very different. So yeah,
true, very
it's
true,
it's the best compliment that we get when we are watching people play.
true, true. Speaking of this topic, by the way, why do you think people are not like this? A lot of them, especially nowadays, that they do not question anything around them. They just accept everything that they see, they hear in the social media, outside the social
Yeah, I think
media.
it's maybe a little bit generational
Okay.
because people at younger age tend uh, to to always get in the bandwagon because they are afraid of missing out.
I see, I
So
see, I see, I see.
if I remember when I was young, when at school, there were groups of people. There were groups, but even if I was an outcast, it doesn't. There were if it I liked even if five people liked one movie and I didn't like it, wasn't a problem. But nowadays you get left over and
True, true,
shamed
true,
about it.
true,
So you tend to be cast away because you don't like the game, so or the movie. So you tend to mold yourself
true,
to even you don't like the movie to say that it's good, and that changes your mind, but it's not what you personally believe,
true.
and you try to mold yourself to things that you actually don't like but like it because everyone is liking it.
To be the
So we
part
have
of
to,
the cool kids
yeah,
group, right?
yeah, people play Fortnite but don't like to play Fortnite
True, true,
because
true, true,
but
true.
all my friends are playing it, so I must play the Fortnite also because if I don't, they won't speak to me like the others. So it's yeah, so it's true
But a good
because they
example,
they
yeah,
tend,
good example, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so they try to, if they bash on something and I don't agree, maybe I will bash on my opinion on it also because I want to be part of their life, and so yeah, I think that's the aspect that it really reinforces that mindset, and it's not good at all.
True, true, very true, very true. Okay, okay. How have you changed, by the way, as a person in other territories of your own life from being a game developer for so many years? What changes were there from being a game developer? So, how the game development journey affected your life in other territories of your own personal life?
Maybe the way maybe the way I organize projects
I see. Okay.
because even I directed small campaigns at my work,
I
and
see. I see. I see.
it's quite different because even in marketing or making key visual and project products, it's quite different to create a video game because even the video game is a product. It's also managing people's lives
True. True.
because
True. True.
it
True.
was very difficult to, and it's a big responsibility to try to convince my friends to join a project for 7 years that maybe it won't get any profit.
True.
So it
It's a
was
lot of
very hard to
years.
me to, and tough to ask for them for more of their time
I see.
for, okay, maybe don't go on that vacation right now, maybe spend your time after work to draw more 500 takes on Gram, or more scenarios, or more text, or more music. And I was managing their time, so it was very it was a big responsibility. But I got very humble about it and very respectful of people time.
I see.
Yeah, from we do this project. Yeah,
I see. I see. Okay. So, what about, by the way, other platforms and physical editions of this game? It's already out, right? But I'm a big fan of
yeah,
physical editions, and I'm a big fan of games being on other platforms as well. What
yeah,
are the
yeah,
plans about it? Or is there
yeah.
any? Or are there any plans for these two
Unfortunately,
topics?
it's yeah, and unfortunately it's not on the cards because we
I
are,
see.
as I said, it's we are very very small, and the game didn't sold that well. So and it's very hard even for, and you know about it, because even if you're selling a game on Steam and you are not in the US, it's make even harder
True,
because
true,
a lot
true,
of
true.
that, if they know that you are a foreigner, there are always people that tend to bash your game because you're
True.
not. Maybe when they know that we are European or whatever, and they play the game and read the text, they always said it is very well written, it's amazing. But as soon as they know that we are not English native speaker, maybe they tend more lean to saying that the texts are not very good.
Hmm.
And even selling a game on US, you tend more to appear less in person because you have to speak in English. You tend to you get the taxes from Steam that is
I
30%
see.
more the taxes on being from changing the dollar
The
to
dollar
euro.
to euro, yeah.
Then you have to they tax you for a commission for transfer the money from the US to Europe,
Also cost
and
money.
they, yeah, then you have to the taxes of your own country, so we are almost left with nothing. So it's very sad to see like a profit, and at the end you get 20% of 100%. So for us, it's very hard to make physical media.
I see.
We did some with our own money. So we did some press kits. We did like 30, and we sent to the main reviewers. Some received it, someone didn't receive it. It was kind of hard for us because we had to spend our own money to
I
send
see.
a package to Australia or to
I
the
see.
States,
I see. I see. I
and
see.
didn't get any response at all. We had a
Wow.
post which was quite viral, which was good because we sent to Kotaku and they didn't want it, and it got back after 1 month. The package was almost destroyed, but we posted on social media and said Kotaku didn't want it. So if anyone wants it, just repost this
I would
post
want
and
to
we'll give
have
you
it.
the.
Let me know if there is a
Yeah.
possibility.
And then
No,
André got
it's
into
so
it.
sad. It's
And
so sad, man.
yeah, it was very hard because it was our own money and we spent a lot on in the
And not
physical
just money,
media.
but passion, right? So it's not just
Yeah.
about money.
Yeah, I personally had to go to the post office and
True.
package
Time as well.
everyone and
Yeah.
so on and
Yeah.
write all the addresses and send it. It was very hard,
Ah,
but yeah, nowadays it's very. It will be only on Steam. We are trying to place it on GOG this year in Google Games,
I see.
and maybe on other platforms. But as a game, it's a point and click game, so it won't be on the PlayStation because it's or Xbox because it's very mouse focused.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
We thought about it on uh, on the Switch,
Switch. Yeah.
but we are still thinking about it because it costs money to us
True. True.
to
True.
develop
Understandable.
that part of the. If we spend time trying to port it to the Switch, maybe you won't spend time on a new game.
True.
So maybe
True. True.
spend time on the new game instead of the ports.
And you can always go
Uh,
backlog this process, right? So even
exactly.
after
Yeah.
like producing and releasing another game, you can always go backlog to the first
Yeah, yeah.
project.
And the rumors with the new Switch that you maybe you have the mouse control
Mouse
with the
control,
you
yeah.
heard about it. It was very good for us to hear about it because if you have the mouse control with the Switch, maybe you can port it easily
True.
to the Switch platform. But that's the plans for now. Yeah,
I see.
unfortunately.
No, it's understandable, and I appreciate your honesty. It means a lot to me about these topics
Yeah.
too. It really shows
But
that there are some.
it quite. But it's weird for me even when people play to go to the. I think I always have comments on the platform saying when is going to the PlayStation, but if you think about it and you saw the trailer and you have interest on the game and you saw that it's a point and click game, maybe it's hard to manage to port the game to the PlayStation with that mindset. So maybe I think about it that people are not sure what the game is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, but I also feel like there are a lot of people who are like more likely to play on other platforms than PC, right? So
Yeah.
I play on all platforms, but I prefer PlayStation. But if there is a PlayStation version, I always play on PC too, so it doesn't matter for me. But there are some
Yeah.
people who just strict about what platforms they would like to play on games. So yeah,
Yeah, and I respect that.
sure.
Maybe I hope that the next one we are trying to focus on releasing on more platforms than
I
on
see.
Steam. Because if we are going to spend this amount of time in our lives, we have to um, port it to other platforms. If you
I
stay
see.
on Steam only, it will be a death sentence. So we
I
have
see.
to make the next one. We are trying to focus to release it on more platforms.
I see.
That's good news, and the
I
only
see.
good news I have to share.
I see. I see. I see. I see. How hard, by the way, or easy for you to leave the past project behind and to start working on the next one?
Yeah, so I started to the new project right away
I see.
because I was in a good mood
I
after
see. I
releasing,
see. I see. I see.
and after seeing people playing it on streams, it gave me energy. But I'll be honest with you, after 2 or 3 months of starting to develop the new ideas, I had a crash. So I think
I
after
see.
all those years, I burned out and I didn't do anything for almost 6 months
I see.
because I was not mentally into it to create. Because if you think about it, it will be a lot of work and
True.
to start all over and to spend all those nights and trying to tell your friends and family that you are not going to be present because you're doing another video game
True. True.
after your
True.
work because it's like a part-time job because you're going to do your work then you work on the game. uh, but as soon I was trying to get the mood of it and the colors right, and I got excited about it.
I see.
And when I pitched the idea to the other members, they loved it, and they got me even more excited. So yeah, now we are full on to it, and we are happy about it, but excited, but quite nervous because we if you are going to this again, he has to make money. If he doesn't make money, we won't do another one. Yeah.
I see.
So this will be um, if it's success, we will do more. If this won't make any money, we will do no more games. Yeah,
I see. I see. Are
because
you?
we can't take it anymore. Yeah.
I see. Are you planning, by the way, not to go with the publisher again for the second game of yours?
Yeah. Right now we are focused on making with no publisher.
I see.
But if the right offer comes in, maybe we'll try to approach it. Maybe doing a Kickstarter also,
Okay.
because the other time, the last time we didn't do any Kickstarter,
I see.
uh, because Kickstarter is a good platform to have reach. Also,
True.
it's
True.
not about the funding, but it's more
So
about the reach.
reaching, yeah, exactly.
So maybe we could do because we actually have we don't spend money on the game on the development. We only
I see.
spend time.
I see. I see. I
So
see.
we don't need money to pay maybe actors or money to pay the other team members. But maybe we'll ask for some amount of money just to spend on marketing,
I
which is
see.
very expensive.
True. True.
And
True.
marketing will pay within itself because it will be uh, all spent on marketing and it will be good for reach. I
True.
won't say that we'll do a Kickstarter, but if they are on the cards.
I see. I see. I see. Okay. What about, by the way, your new game? Could you tell us a bit about it too? Because we talked about it a
Yeah,
bit at the beginning.
I can talk a little too much about
Okay.
it, but yeah, but the focus we knew that we wanted to change our gears and
Okay. I see.
to go completely opposite. So the first game it's um, very dark and very narrative
I
focused,
see.
and we do the touchy subjects, but we are still keeping that as our our style, so to speak, because we took all the good aspects that we learned from the first game, and everyone that tried that complained about this aspect or this one or didn't like this aspect, we removed it all
I see.
and tried to change to new things that change the pace. And when the new fans or the new players that reach our game, they will feel very refreshed because we did something on the same vein, but quite different. Even the color palette, it's totally different. How you play, it's different. But we are focused on that. Yeah.
I see. When players can hear about the new game, by the way, do you have any
What?
plans when players can hear about the new game? Do you have any plans like
Yeah,
releasing a
it's gonna
trailer?
take some time. Yeah, we'll on social media we'll try to release some work in progress
I
images,
see. I see.
but we are going to, as we did with the last one, we're gonna one we will release a teaser trailer, which will take some time. Uh, because we did a great mistake on the first one, because when we did the teaser trailer, we almost had nothing on the game, nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we just had the teaser almost, and some new. We didn't have. I think about if I think about it, we didn't have any build of the game. It's
I
just
see.
almost all on video, and we made the teaser, and the teaser was well received, but we didn't have any game, any playable part of the game.
I see.
But on this project, because we know how to make a game right now, we are if we when we release the teaser, we have to make sure that we have at least 50% done, so the wait won't be too long
Too long.
when we make the tease. If
Yeah.
we make the tease, maybe after 1 year or 6 months, the game is released. That's
True. 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 Very
our
true.
objective.
I see.
So the interest keeps growing, and it's not stretched beyond people's interests. That
True.
was
True.
a bad move on our side, because I think we made a tease on 2021 and released on 2024, so 3 or 4 years
3 years.
for an indie game. I think it's too much. If you're doing a triple A and people are very excited about it, that works. But for an indie game, you have to manage that span from releasing a teaser and releasing the
The
game
game
much shorter,
itself. Yeah.
because
Exactly.
we are competing with a lot of indies.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I wanted to say. Is that so many games are coming out, and
yeah,
people have to keep in mind about all
yeah,
those games
exactly.
that they put
So you
into
have to
their wish
release the
list.
teaser and yeah,
Exactly.
and grab it.
Exactly. Exactly. We touched here a lot of topics. Before I ask some more questions, are you down to go for the questions from my chat as well?
Sure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there is any question. Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen kérdés, any questions? I will also reshare the game's Steam page at the chat while waiting for questions. Let me do that. I did that in my Discord, but okay, let me do that as well. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Bármilyen kérdés? Any questions? Let us know. 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 While you are waiting for questions, by the way, what would be your advice for all those people who are already working in the video game industry or would like to work in the video game industry and video games from all your experience in your bag?
Yeah, I already said one advice. This is market your game from
Yeah,
the start.
yeah, that was one.
That is the top priority. If you don't market, no one will know that your game exists.
True, true, true.
That was be very respectful to everyone that you reach, because their time is valuable. So is your time. So try not to annoy people, because and be respectful. So when you reach it and they don't respond, don't try to push it.
Do you think
Maybe,
you were down on the road to push someone? You say this
yeah, because
because
you can make a nudge, but you don't keep pushing because the nudges often work because from specific time that person that you are trying to reach maybe missed on your message.
true.
And if I tried to nudge someone after 6 months and they all actually said, "Oh, thank you," because the last message just
Exactly, that's what I wanted to
missed me.
say. Sometimes it's good if you like start
Yeah,
to be like, you know,
yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
again, and again, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah. No, it's good because it's honestly it's not the people the person that doesn't want to respond to you. It's just they are busy and
True,
they missed it.
true.
Uh,
I do it
but
all the
don't
time, so I know that true.
Yeah, no, but it's good. But don't just don't get like offended if the person doesn't respond.
True,
Just go with your life
true,
because
true, true.
they
But it's hard
try
to
to
learn
avoid
that.
it.
I think it's hard to learn that, especially
Yeah,
nowadays where everyone has a
yeah.
mobile phone. So yeah,
Exactly, and don't get dismotivated about it
true,
because you have a lot of people that will be gladly to hear about your game.
true,
They ask for interviews like yourself, and
true.
it will make your day because people are interested in your game and your time, and it will be all worth it. But try to go big on your first project. If you go big, you'll probably will never do it. So just keep it short for the first project. We didn't kept it short, but we kept it simple. So it was our caveat about that.
I see.
So don't go full on mechanics. Try to search for what people really want or the niche that you are trying to focus on, and try to focus on the stuff that you are good at it. If you're good in mechanics, focus on the mechanic. If you're good in arts, focus on the arts. If you're good in the music, focus on the music. Um, and try to be patient because even if you keep it on the shelf and don't release the game, you will always feel bad about it
True.
because you didn't try. So just even if
Finish.
it's a bad game, if you think it's a bad game, just release it and you'll be relieved that you at least you made the game and released it.
True.
Um, Instead of keeping shelving the ideas or yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
I see. I see. How your perspective, by the way, changed as a player from being a game developer for so many years? If there was, of course, any change.
If my perspective changed
Yeah, as a player, yeah, from being a
as a
game
player,
developer. Yeah,
yeah. I would say that during this, I always played all my life.
yeah, you
I
mentioned that.
breathe and I breathe video games. During my work, I always listen to podcasts. I even see people
I love
playing
your
my
example of Uncharted,
game.
by the way. That's why I asked
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
and I see people playing the games or key moments of the game. People that cry about this scene of this the move the video game or listen to the soundtracks of the video
nice,
games.
nice,
So
nice.
I always reading the news about it. But for the last 5 years, I didn't have time to play them.
I see.
So I I tended to watch someone play because I didn't have time to play them, and now it was like a rush. It was very weird to me because I released the game and I suddenly have time to play games again. So I played a heck of a lot of games from midis, from new games. I'm actually playing right now the GameCube version of Prince of Persia.
Nice, nice,
Uh,
nice, nice, nice,
I bought like a little port to put it on the TV to the HDMI,
nice.
and I'm playing old games, new games.
Love that,
But
love
I
that.
know that this time will end because when I go into full production on my new game, I'll get on the role of not playing games again. So this is like my vacation of video games. I'm playing all of them again, and learning about the the new mechanics, the old mechanics that I can use on my game, but that all will be going to be on idle again. So I'm trying to enjoy as much as I can to try to invest time
I
back in
see.
development.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. I see. I see. I see. See. Oh, there is a question, by the way. Sorry, I missed it. Um, Pendrive says it's a more personal question from him. Uh, like if he got it right, he's saying, um, okay, let me read. Oh, he's asking if you have any kids, any children. If they play video games, do you show old school games which you grew up on?
Yeah, I don't have children,
Okay.
but I I got together with my high school girlfriend again from after so many years, and she used to play with me, and we didn't saw each other for 15 years, and we got back together after 15 years,
Oh, okay,
and
nice.
was yeah,
A
it
true
was
love
very good.
story then, nice.
Yeah, and we got together. We actually getting married.
Oh,
Even
congratulations,
on
man.
yeah, thank you on 4 months, and
Nice.
we play together old games and new games, and we try to show. I'm always trying to remember old games that we used to play or games that she might like, and then I keep showing the game.
Nice, nice,
And
nice, nice,
and
nice.
surely it was very good. It was a great feeling to show that was I was making a game for a lot of years, and she
It's
was
really
very
what I
excited
said
about.
before our interview, right? Going back to the
Yeah,
past, right? Reliving the past.
yeah,
It
exactly.
shows, it
And
shows,
she even
nice.
helped on the last stages of the
Oh,
game
nice.
from with some reforming because we didn't use rotoscoping on the
I
animations. We
see.
didn't use,
I see.
but we used some reference points to know all the human emotion,
I
the
see.
movements
I
works.
see.
So he helped on it, and we filmed some actions with her, and so he was in the game. So it was good.
Nice, 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 nice,
Yeah,
nice. Thank you, by the way, for the question from Pendrive. Thank you,
yeah.
Andre,
Thank you, thank you.
for the answer as well. Um, okay, any more questions? Any more questions? Minnie's saying with her comments that the trailer of the game is very scary, especially when there is a human hand pulled out from the mouth of the wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, the game I say on this description because the game looks scary, but the game is more. It's 90% thriller. It's not a scary game at all.
I see.
So it's more of a mood. It's a thriller. That part of the trailer, sure, it's on the game, but and there's a very meaningful part to the story. But the game, it's not scary per se. It's more of a mood and more of a thrilling story. You have to unravel the story as you go, and it goes and we saw players when they start streaming, they think it's gonna be a scary game and they turn on the heart rate, but they try to then they know that okay, this is not a game to be scared and there's no jump scares. It's more of a story, but I like this because it's very deep, and
It
they
would be
get
weird to
invested.
have a jump scare in point
Yeah,
and click games, right? So
yeah, and they get invested on the story more, and they change their gears because but we had to put something to thrill the
to
players on the
hype up the
trailer.
players,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
and we got some comments about it because they say it's about a theme. It's about werewolves, but in the end, it's not like that. So and we got comments because I was hoping that it was about this and it's not this. Well, okay, but we didn't sell that way. We just
True.
sold that image.
True.
Yeah,
True. True.
and it's not a scary game. So,
True.
but we had reviewers asking if it was very graphic or if it was very scary, and even reviewers that got very apprehensive because at the start of game we give a disclaimer about the trauma, and there was a reviewer that was very respectful, and they said it was very, if the game was very hard on that aspect, she won't play it, and we respect it, and she didn't play it because it was very personal to her, the reaching for that type of subjects, and there were other reviewers that was a very it was a very good bond with them because they reached us and discussed the story with us, and we gave our personal views on the story, and they were very relieved because the things that were thinking about it was not nothing like that, and they got relieved. Okay, that's much better, and I can sleep at night right now because the characters are much better than the way I thought. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And yeah, she's saying that the music during the trailer is also very awesome and a very good choice. Thank you for that.
And music is made from my brother
I see.
because my brother has background in music.
Nice.
He had a band and a small company that releases music albums.
I see.
But it's the first video game that he made.
Oh, okay.
So it was very So it was very challenging to him to approach music in a different way because the game has to. We had a dynamic range with the music. It was what I wanted from the start. It was a very big challenge for him because the music actually changes.
Moody, I guess we could say.
Yeah, if you're speaking near the wolves or speaking with the kid, it's the same music, but it changes to the mood. So it was very organic, and we wanted to do that from the start. It was a big challenge for him because the beats are not the same, and it was very and has to be a loop and not a track that starts and ends.
True.
Has not to be annoying because we have to think about if it's a puzzle game, you're playing for a level maybe for 30 minutes or 7 hours because maybe someone is stuck on the puzzle and will be there for 2 hours, and listening to the same music for 2 hours will get annoying. So we molded and we adapted the music aspect to it, and he played everything by hand. So all the guitars and the sounds. He did everything apart from some music instruments that he did digitally, but everything he really composed and played it and recorded, and he did the foley for all the sounds of the game. He had too much fun with that because I remember him calling me at 2 a.m. because he found the perfect sound for a door creak.
Real passion
said,
again,
2
right?
a.m., but it's the perfect sound. Listen to it. Okay, great. Record it. And yeah.
It's good to have people so passionate around you, right?
Yeah,
it's
it was very good because it didn't play video games like we do because he's much older.
I see.
But he didn't understood totally some mechanics of it.
I see.
But I had to explain it to us what people do these days. But I'm talking like this like he's 60 years old for 70 or 90, but it's not like that. It's just
you're teaching
not
him
play
basically
video games like us, not daily.
Yeah.
So he was very excited to be on board and to create music for a different medium, which was really, and he's very excited with the new one because it's not based on real life sounds.
I see.
Because the other one, it was a challenge we know how a door creaks, I know how the knife does on which place on the table, and they are always sounds that people recognize. In the new game, which is on another place entirely, you can be very creative with the sounds. Yeah.
I see.
You can very, very creative. Yeah. It sounds.
I see.
It's very, yeah.
I see. Speaking of puzzles, by the way, what was the goal with the difficulty setting for the puzzles?
Yeah. So we did some testing throughout the game.
Okay.
But as I said, I'm a very avid fan of the Myst series and the Riven series.
Yes.
So and as you know it probably, those games are very hard on the puzzles.
True, 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 true,
And
true.
I knew that if we were going to make a game more focused on an adult audience,
I
because
see.
it's a point and click, but it's not, point and click tend to be more on the humorous type,
True, true,
uh, cartoony humorous type, like Day of the
true,
Tentacle
true.
and Full Throttle and the LucasArts games.
To be more
But
available to everyone, right?
yeah, but the Broken Sword ones, even they are cartoony, they are on a more serious tone. But
True,
even that, they are on more on the light aspect of
true,
it.
true.
And we wanted to be more grounded and more serious on the mood.
I see.
And so the puzzles have to integrate with that mood. So we had some constraints because the puzzles had to be more grounded, and we got a lot of praise and a lot of slack about it, because more praise than slack, because they are it's a more grounded logic, and the first part of the game teaches the player to think and to avoid game logic, because
I see.
if the character needs an item, he grabs it because he needs it. There's an aspect that's there's a trash can, and if you click the trash can, he says that he doesn't want to go to the trash because he doesn't know what what to search for it.
I see.
But when the girl says that her mom left true crayon to the trash, now he has a purpose to go to
I
the
see.
trash. So he doesn't pick up items randomly because of the puzzles that you don't know that they exist. So that was an aspect that even the avid players, point and click fans, they loved it because it was different. And even with the items that you grab, we don't grab 46 items and do end the game with a lot of items,
Put into
and
the
they start
pocket, right?
yeah, and they start to be frustrated because you're trying everything on everything
Yeah, combining everything.
until
Yeah,
something happens.
yeah.
Yeah, Graham actually says that if you try too much, he says, I can keep trying to play till something happens. I don't know why, but try to go minimal on the items that he
I see.
grabs. If he thinks it's not going to be useful anymore, that has to be in connection with the player,
I see.
and they think, yeah, just throw it away because it doesn't. You don't won't probably need it.
I see.
If you use as a key on the door, it's only for that door, and the key and the door is far away. You'll probably take it away.
I see.
So the puzzles are medium to hard. Some are very specific, but we always took the challenge to be more to the experienced players and to. But this could be a hit or miss because even we see players playing the game, some puzzles are very hard for some players, and some players are very easy either to the same type of player.
True.
So we watch players almost rage quit on a puzzle, and other players sending emails to us saying it was the best puzzle they played all year. So it's quite a mixed message type of thing with the puzzles, because some people love this kind of puzzles, some people hate this kind of
True.
puzzles, and you can't
You cannot please everyone, like you said at the
yeah,
beginning,
you
and
can
it's very
please
true. And
everyone.
it's very true, and I respect this attitude of yours and your
But
team
we
members.
implemented, yeah. So it was our fault because we thought that will be very reachable for all kinds of players,
I see.
but soon we started to know that we had to make a patch to it to integrate some kind of help system.
I see.
So 2 months after the game released, we patched it, and we integrated a hint system into the game, and that was very good to us. That people were requesting, and we were listening, and instead of just leaving the game, we kept adding to it and adding to
I
it,
see.
and that was a lesson learned for the next game. So if with the puzzles, we have to always think about people that like the game, but they necessarily want to spend time on the puzzles. There are people that don't want to spend; they just want to enjoy the game and the narrative
The
and the
story.
visuals,
Yeah.
and just try to avoid the puzzles. That's an option, and the option has to be there. Yeah.
True. 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 Sadly, I would say, because I always say this, that the point and click genre's main core aspect is the puzzles, right? Not just the
Yeah.
story. So I would say sadly, because we got used to these hard games, and nowadays a lot of people are just, wants to rush everything in order just to gain information
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
story.
and we see a lot of people that start to playing the game, and it's not a good streamable kind of video game because you have
They
an
get
audience
stuck,
and
yeah.
they are eager to keep the pace on and the story to proceed,
True,
and the person that are that's playing, they have the right to get stuck on the puzzle,
true,
and if you don't get it, you don't get it. You have to have time for the puzzles, and if you don't have, you'll go with a walkthrough, and that's okay with us. If you want to enjoy the game without the puzzles, you go for it.
true.
But we did from the start was to avoid the moon logic, and that was a refresher to a lot of players in the point and click genre because we tried to avoid the moon logic at all. The first part of the game, we had a little bit a good aspect on the mechanics that I think it's the click that people, okay, this game thinks like this. It's you have to find something to write about, and some kind of utensil like a pen or a crayon, and you are at a house, and you are at a house or someone else, which is Anna's, and the kid sits outside, and you are inside the house. You have to find something, and you're trying to think about it in the game logic. So you tend to try to get the broom, break the broom, burn it on the fire, try to make like a coal, and with the coal write it. So it's so many steps for just going with the kid and ask someone that lives there, hey, do you have something to write about? And she says, yeah, I have something. So it's so simple to, it's not your house. Just ask someone in real life. You
It's
would
like in
ask
real life,
someone,
yeah, exactly,
you
exactly.
have to ask someone, do you have something to write about?
Exactly,
And not just
exactly.
going, if you had at someone's house and just, give me a broom, I'm going to break it. I'm going to try to, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Just ask me for a pen. It will be, and when they start thinking like that, oh, okay, this game thinks like this, and they try to they enjoy it more. Yeah,
True, true, true. Very true. And it's interesting because I realized over like the almost 11 years me streaming on Twitch as well that it's a bad thing that these kind of options are available to people to stream the game in some way. Like I'm not saying it's very bad, but
hmm
at some ways there should be like restrictions from publishers and developers, at least so streamers can only stream like 1 hour from a game, not the whole game, right? Because it's ruining the experience. There would be more players if there won't be that much of a streamers, or streamers would not stream the whole game itself, in my opinion. So it really ruins this system or society of people who really wanted to
yeah,
play the game, in my opinion. And I realized it myself as well, although I streamed games for so many years and I still stream games. But nowadays I realize that, hey, I don't want to take away people's, like, how to say it, enjoyment of experiencing the game. I rather stream like 1 or 2 hours of the game. And if they want the full game, of course I can stream it. But if
yeah,
they would rather buy it, they should rather buy it and experience it for themselves. So yeah.
yeah. But we had that in mind.
Yeah, because some
But
developers do that, by the way. I know that, and it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
good thing in my
We kept the
opinion.
game. We kept the game in chunks. That was from the start, because we divided the game in chapters. Because I consider myself like a more of a old generation gamer because I value the time that people spend on it.
True, true,
So
true.
I wanted to make some starts and stops on the story so we could play game in chunks, and we beta test the game so we could be more like an hour per chapter.
I see.
So the game has 6 chapters, so if you spend more than 1 hour or two, the game can spend to 6 to 10 hours.
2 10 hours, yeah.
But we always try to make the game for with chapters, and that went very well with the streams because people tend to end the stream on a chapter. So I'm gonna play a chapter. okay, next episode we're gonna play the next chapter, and
Nice.
they cut it on the between chapters, so it's good for that formula. And we are thinking about on the next game about doing that, but we are trying to avoid it because we want to give them a little more freedom this time.
I see.
Yeah, we're trying to make some kind of chapters, but not in the same way, so it could be more freedom and be more quick
You
on
won't realize
the.
that it's a chapter, but you can stop there.
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any more questions? Any more comments? Before I ask some closing questions as well. Any questions? Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen kérdés? Bármilyen kérdés? Any questions? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know, and I will ask until that some closing questions as well. So you mentioned that it was always a dream for you to make video games. Do you feel like now that you released your first game with your team members, with your friends, now you're at the right place, right time in your life?
Yeah, I
That you
think.
found yourself in life, you could say so.
Yeah, if I could, I would make my living out of this, but
I see.
I can't.
I
So
hope I hope one day it will turn
yeah,
out
I hope
to
so.
that
Thank you. But
situation.
I it's always the prospect of realizing that you're going to spend a lot of time
See,
with the new project.
I see.
So with the first one, we didn't count years, but on this one, we started counting years. So I'm almost 40, and I'm gonna, if I add three or more, when I end this project, I'm gonna be 43 or 42 or 45. I don't know.
I see.
So I'm realizing that I'm starting to count years
I see.
on real life into projects. So
Is it a
um,
bad or good thing?
I,
How do you feel like
I,
it?
yeah, yeah. I'm more fulfilled that at least I released the game. It's very good, but it's the feedback and we're seeing someone play and seeing someone saying it's good that drives me to make
To
another
keep
one.
pushing
Maybe
and
if it was badly received, then people bash it and say it was. I don't want to make it feel more like defeated. But if it if it wasn't so well received, maybe I'll try to focus on other type of projects in my life. But if it was really well received, so I'm trying to make another one. That's my goal right now.
see, see.
But it's always unfortunately about the money. So if
True,
the new one has to make money, if it doesn't, I'll call it quits.
true, true, true. My closing question would be, by the way, when was the time when you discovered your style in art?
Oh, that's a difficult question
Thank you.
because yeah. So I think the very first iteration, this game changed a lot throughout the years, and in the first few years, it wasn't even remotely like this.
I
It
see.
was like a isometric kind of game, mobile game,
I see.
where you see the game in small little squares, like scenes, and we realized that it was very, I don't know the adjective to that. It was very distant from the characters and the story that we wanted to
I
tell.
see. I see.
So we embedded the cinematic aspect of it, and that's why we have the letterbox aspect of the game. It was the black bars that
Okay.
you can't remove it because it's meant to be panoramic and very cinematic
I
focused.
see. I see.
And when we reach that type of visuals, because I always like to create like matte paintings and create scenes for my dream job was to be like a storyboarder for
Oh, okay.
movies and to create scenes and be a concept artist for it.
Would you
since that
still
didn't realize.
would you still want to do that? By the way, sorry for interrupting you. Would you still
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
that?
I would love to do that. If I had an option, I will do try to marry the two jobs with it. But
Okay.
if but yeah, but I in a way I brought my dream of being storyboarder and concept artist into the game.
Into the game. Okay.
So I like to create fixed scenes so you can dwell on it and dream on it. So we knew that we wouldn't make a 3D game because it was beyond our abilities.
Limitations.
So we had to make a 2D game because it knew it was our forte. It was animation and digital art and music. So we focused more on that.
So,
And the art style is a blend of years of yeah. And it is a subject, a quite subject because we got reached for two reviewers who loved the game and they gave amazing scores, but they were a little suspect on the how we make the backgrounds because it was on the verge of the hype of the digital AI art, and nowadays you can just type some words and have a scene where okay, and our scenes were made from scratch in no AI. So we for each scene we drew by hand, then we made a basic 3D model, and we painted over the 3D model. Then we separated all the layers and animated every scene end by end. So 10 frames per second for each scene. Maybe each one took 1 month to make, and they are almost 70 or 80. So it was very hard to make them all. But they, two or three people reached to us if just to make check if we did or use some kind of AI to it. And when I proved to them that it was not, I didn't have to prove, but I showed them. Oh, here's the process. And they said, oh, okay, this is a lot of work. This is amazing, and they got really well. They were more relieved to know that it was all done
by hands,
by hand. Yeah.
by human. Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm not
interesting, by the way.
critiquing at all people or developers that use AI, but because it will become a tool for it.
Yeah.
Um,
To speed
so
up the
if you want to use
process.
AI on your games, just use it. If it integrates to your game, use it. If it speeds up the process of pursuit of creating the game, just use it. I'm not against it,
True.
but we for ourselves we still think it's more it if you go that path, maybe it not everyone is good at arts. So if
Sure.
you're good in mechanics and programming, maybe you are missing out at arts. So that's a good tool to use. But for us, that we are think ourselves as more lean
Art.
to doing art, it's we always try to avoid AI generated images because it narrows your creativity
True.
because the image shows to you the possibility and you look at it, oh, it's very good, I don't want to do anything, it's I want to use this idea, so you focus on the AI art, so it can channels and it struggles to release your creativity
True.
into the game.
And I feel like it's really about like understanding AI as well, because I have seen
Yeah,
some good examples, not from the art perspective, but the sound perspective of AI. There's
yeah,
a multiplayer game called The Finals, and the developers used AI for like teaching AI for the voices of like the announcers, male
yeah,
and the
yeah,
female voice. And when AI got teached to these voices, they used AI voice with their original
yeah,
voice
yeah,
to be the announcers and react to everything that players do during the matches of the finals. So it
yeah.
was a very
And that
clever
makes sense.
idea,
Yeah,
but it made sense for the game, right? Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
it has to be a connection
It
through
has to
your
make, yeah, it
solution
has to
and the
make
game
sense to
itself.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It's not just like an asset that you bring into your game because of
exactly.
AI, because it wouldn't make
And
sense.
there are multiple aspects to it. If you're struggling with the time, if struggling with
True,
the
true,
money, if you're struggle. So if you need that on your project, I think people can't complain about it. Just don't. The only aspect is don't be afraid to be honest about it. If you're using AI
true,
art, or
true, true, true,
don't try
true,
to
true.
tell people that
It
you're
was
doing it
you.
yourself.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
that's
Yeah.
not the approach that you have to be. Be honest with it. That just yeah, I'm
True,
using this because it's good for my project. Yeah,
true,
be
true,
honest about
true,
it.
true. Thank you, by the way, very much for your
Yeah,
time. It was really a pleasure and an honor for me to speak with you, and thank you for the questions and the comments in the chat as well. I appreciate that
yeah.
as
Thank
well.
you to yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, I will need some more of your minutes of stream, but for those who were with us at today's episode, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to check out the game on Steam and be on the lookout for the next game, which we hopefully will see and hear more about this year. And yeah, thanks for everyone who joined us for today's episode. Have a great day or night, depending where you live. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.